Hi my friends, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to our Planet Zoo series, Hyland Zoo, and we are back for a fresh episode, but it's not the episode I promised last time out. We're going to get into that in a moment, my friends, but if you're yet to see last episode when we completed our Indian rhino build, that is linked above right now, my friends. Feel free to go and check that one out. Now, obviously this episode today has been titled What's Next, and there's good reason for it, and I just kind of wanted to explain a few things and go over some stuff, and rather than sort of waste some of the time that I've got, I wanted to discuss exactly what's next with the zoo and kind of share with you my plans going forward and see what you guys kind of think and feel about it, and kind of get your opinions as well. I want you to try and be as active as possible in the comment section where today's episode is concerned. Now, obviously, ladies and gents, you will remember that I kind of promised that I was going to be doing the Indian elephant build in today's episode. Unfortunately, it hasn't happened. Now, you will remember in last episode when I did the Indian rhino build, I wasn't feeling my best. My voice, you could hear my voice was pretty croaky. I had a bit of a bunged up nose and stuff. I just really got wiped out with a cold and stuff, and I think I just kind of rushed back, and after I made the episode, the next day I tried to do some recording, and it just didn't happen. I haven't had the energy, and I just got really sick. I'm feeling so much better now. I feel like I'm completely over the cold, which is amazing, but it wiped me out, and I've just had some stuff going on as well, so haven't really had the time to sit down and record an episode. But I thought that rather than waste the time, how about we jump into the zoo, we take a look at it, and we discuss what's going to happen, going forward, and what you can expect over the next few episodes. This isn't a Zoo So Far episode. I just want to clear that up. We are going to wait until episode 30 before we do that, so we're not going to take a deep dive and look at loads of stuff today. We're just going to talk about the zoo and what we're going to do next. Also, I'm going to talk to you about a brand new project that I'm going to be working on soon with a bunch of smaller YouTubers. So, that's going to be really, really exciting, my friends. So, yeah, this is kind of where we're at with the zoo at the moment. If we take a good, sort of bird's eye view look at the zoo, obviously car parking area here. We've got the entrance. This is sort of like the reptile house. All of this, Komodos are there, and obviously our crocodiles here are all kind of all part of it. And we've got the Galapagos tortoise there. This is our Taste of Asia restaurant that obviously has the peacocks around the outside. We've just kind of started doing some vegetation here, just to hide some buildings, and along here as well, because I want to kind of hide this area. Our Formosan bears are here. Pangolins are there, and we put a new little park in here, and this is a backlot area. So this side is really, really coming along nicely. Our Indian rhinoceroses are in here. Obviously, this is their hard shelter. We're going to have a big sort of backlot area as well, and this side is where the elephants are going to go. Now, I kind of want to discuss with you how I see sort of like the Asian part of the zoo expanding, and sort of like my vision going forward for this area. And basically what I'm going to do is share with you my ideas, and then in the comment section below, what I'd really like for you guys to do is expand on them and tell me if you think it's good, tell me what you might potentially change about what I'm talking about, and so on and so on, because I think that having feedback really helps with my creative process. I wouldn't say I've hit a brick wall at all, but obviously it's very hard to come up with fresh ideas as you go along, and I feel kind of like that's where I'm at. So what I'm thinking, where sort of like the Asian area is concerned, ladies and gents, is that obviously sort of like down here is all very well compact and filled out. We're probably going to put like a statue in this here. I'm probably going to carry on with the heavy vegetation sort of in this area here. We've got this nice path that goes up. Now what I'm thinking of doing, because we've kind of got this open plaza area, is I might do two small exhibits, one here and one here, but they will essentially be one exhibit, and we'll join them with a crossover at the top. Now obviously this gets complicated because our staff need to be able to have access to both sides, but obviously if we're going to put a little a thing over the top for the animals to use both sides. Obviously they'd go through the gate on one and wouldn't be able to get over the other. So I've really got to try and come up with a clever idea to make sure that the staff can get in both sides of the habitat. It's going to be quite difficult, I think, but I just, at the same time, I think it's possible. And this is going to house our red panda. Now, I've had many ideas where the red panda are concerned. I've got a tree house idea, which I still think is definitely possible. But I'm going to go with like a tubed run over the top of the pathway. So essentially, this path is the trail that you take up to the sort of like the plaza for the elephants and the rhinos, but we're also going to maximize this path here, have the tube going over the top here. We're going to have another tube at the back here, so people will be able to see the animals, you know, using those and going in and out. And what I'm going to also do is to peel a path off, probably peel a path off sort of like here, and sort of wrap it up here, and that'll be the way that you can kind of look into the enclosure this side, and then take a path maybe, I don't know, along here somewhere and wrap it so you can see into the enclosure that side. So you'll be able to see from multiple angles, and just think it'd be a nice way to sort of like maximize on some of this space rather than just filling it all in with plants basically. You know, I did say I was going to heavily sort of vegetate this area up and you know, really make the environment come alive, but that's kind of my thinking there. So do let me know what you think of that. That's going to be sort of like the red pandas are going to go, you know, one there, and have it, you know, those little walkways across. And then obviously we know that the elephants are going in over here, and it's going to be quite a large enclosure, I can imagine. I'm going to be doing one sort of bit here that's almost going to look separate, and that'll be for the big, you know, male bull elephant, because they do quite regularly get separated from the herd inside of zoos because of the nature of, you know, the way elephants live and stuff. So yeah, that's going to be like that. I want to put a bathroom in probably along here if I can. I do feel like we need another toilet up near this area, which does mean that this here was going to be part of Asia, but it's not anymore. It means we've got some space here. I'm really not sure if I'm going to maximize on it, or whether or not I'm going to just kind of like put some foliage in here and sort of vegetate all the area up again. But what we'll do is we'll carry on with this sort of backlot area here, and we will maximize and join it up to what I'm now going to place down here. Now you will remember this was going to be the tiger down here, but because of the way the zoo's evolved, I just don't really feel like it sits in this area very well anymore. So what's going to go in here now is the chimpanzees, and I just feel like it fits better. Obviously we've got the gorillas here, we've got the mandrills over here, and sort of like this is our tropical sort of African sort of zone, and they do fit in that, so that's what's going to go in there now. So panda, one there. We've got the chimpanzees going in here, and then if you can imagine, the elephants are going to wrap all in here. That's 3 enclosures all done. So first up, here's number 1. Let me know what you make of the placement of all those you know, enclosures. Now where the chimps are concerned, I'd love it if you guys could leave me some ideas of what you'd like to see from a chimpanzee enclosure as well, because I'm quite happy where that's concerned to think outside the box and do something that's, you know, realistic but maybe a little crazy as well, because I feel like the chimps, we could really lean on that and make something fantastic. So now we move on, and the elephants are obviously going to wrap up here. Now, that doesn't leave too many Asian animals left. I think just the giant panda. Now, if you would like the giant panda in the zoo, that's all well and good, but do you think we can get it in here, or do you think we should try and maybe stick the red panda here and the giant panda here rather than doing that walkway idea? That's another thing I'd really like for you guys to share with me. If you don't like that idea, and obviously this is going to wrap around up here, we could always just stick it up here. But what I am thinking a lot up here, when we get to the back of sort of like the elephant enclosure, that's where then the tiger, is probably going to go, around sort of this area. It's a slight guesstimation, obviously, and obviously the orangutan are going to go sort of this area, and obviously there's going to be nice walkways into the African zone from those. So, the Asian area is probably going to go up and sort of fill in all of this area. So there probably will be space up here for the giant panda, but that's kind of my ideas where, finishing off Asia is concerned. When I get round to it, next episode will be the Indian elephants, because I want to finish all of this off. Get all of this sort of like, all of this tree work and everything all done, get it all finished off, get the backlight area finished before we really move on with anything else, because this has been a big build, but one I'm very proud of. So yeah, the elephants are going to be next, whatever happens. Now, we move back over to this side of the zoo, and obviously down here, not much work still needs doing. Obviously, I'm still completing backlot areas. I'm still completing perimeter fences. I've still got to do some planting, but really, it's all small, nitty-gritty stuff that you guys won't see anyway. We got the bongos here, a carpy here, gorillas here. That's the flamingos. We've got the hippos in here. The tapir is there. And then you've got the mandrill there, and then obviously we're up into sort of like the savannah type sort of Africa, and you've got your aardvarks, and then your ostrich and your warthogs. And so really this is where it gets interesting. This is where, after we've done the elephants, I will probably take a short break from Asia and then come back over to either this part of Africa or the chimps. But this is the end of the zoo. Basically, finishing off Africa will essentially be the end of the zoo, because once we get those Asian animals in, I've only really got Africa and a small sort of like petting zoo idea that I've got really to get finished. So yeah, there's going to be giraffe coming off the back here. We're going to have a big enclosure that's going to house the giraffe. Over here we're going to have lions, which are probably going to be sort of like that sort of area. The lion house is probably going to go here now. It wasn't in the beginning, it really wasn't. It was going to come up here, and this was going to be a massive enclosure, but I just don't really think it needs to be as big as I was planning. So the lion house is going to go here now, and basically it helps because it's all a massive backlot area here, and so we can really sort of like foliage all this up and hide it. We can get some nice sort of work going in here as well. Over here I've put these two little wall pieces. You're going to see if I zoom in, we're going to take this wall and do like a nice circle design, and I'm going to put like a nice statue in here. We're going to continue this sort of rope fence around up to here, nice sort of like foliage, because what we're trying to do at the minute is really hide the African area from the rest of the zoo so it feels separate, and that's why we've been doing all this foliage work. And so yeah, it's going to come up, and there's going to be a nice little statue and sort of seated area in there, as well as sort of like what we've got here. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So the lions are going to go there, giraffe are going to go there. We are going to continue up here, and I'm going to do another sort of like predatory animal in here, and I'm thinking about the hyena there. We've got the lions going in here, and I'd love another big cat next door to them, so I'm thinking about the cheetah going in next door to the lions. And then and then we're going to come up, and we're probably going to do like a big sort of like savannah-esque type safari thing that the train is going to go around sort of like the outside of, and it'll probably be the rest of like the plains animals that will end up in that, like the water buffalo and stuff like that along those lines. And then there's going to be a petting zoo, and so essentially, this path's going to come up and here. So if you can imagine this road coming up here and then going up and round and down and then to there, that's the area of the zoo that we've got left to build, because we're not going to use the entire square basically, and that'll be the zoo. I'm not going to be adding the polar bears to this one. I will probably do that in another project, and I'm not sure if I'm going to add stuff like the grizzly bear and stuff like that either. I think I might save all those North American animals for another project, if that is okay with you guys. So yeah, I know it's very vague. It's really hard for me to kind of share exactly what my vision is, because it's just blank space at the minute, but let me know what you think of what I've said, and also feel free to leave your ideas in the comment section below as well. Now, while I've got your attention, something I do want to do is talk to you about the future projects I've been talking about, and obviously this potential collaboratory project that I'm going to be involved in with some other fantastic small YouTubers as well. Now, what I do want to do is I want to kind of find an animal that you guys can watch while we talk about this. Maybe we could come over and, I've got a bit of a problem here with this rhino is concerned. It keeps getting stuck. As you can see, the head's all wonky, and it's because it keeps getting stuck behind this tree, and I have to keep bloody moving it. So yeah, let's press play. Let's make sure that just make sure that this rhino can get out. Yes, it can. Thank God for that, because we've been having real problems with that, ladies and gents. So, yeah, what we'll do is we'll come over to this viewing platform and we'll drop you on down, and you can kind of like watch the rhinos as they go about their day while we talk about the next couple of things. Now, obviously, my friends, we've been talking for a long time about the rebuild series where we're going to rebuild Chester Zoo. That one is very much on pause at the minute. It's going to be a project I do very late on. I'm waiting until at least the next DLC comes out before I even think about tackling that project, because I still feel like we're a few animals short to really make that project everything that it can be. So that's on pause at the minute, but it will happen eventually. I am potentially going to start another Sandbox build to run alongside this one though, because obviously I've been saying I was going to do the Chester Zoo build and it's not going to happen. So what I'm thinking about doing is a budget zoo, and I've got a very good sort of example to use as well. There was a little zoo near where I live called Tropical Wings, and unfortunately last year it closed its doors for good. The owner wasn't very well and just couldn't keep up with running the zoo and stuff, and it was such a shame because it was a beautiful little zoo very close to where I live. You could walk around it in a couple of hours, but it was just one of those things that was just a lovely little day out, and it had a butterfly house, some very small sort of like animals and stuff, but it was just, I don't know, it's just a lovely little place. And so I'm thinking about rebuilding that, sort of like my version of it. So obviously we would have some creative leeway where the animals were concerned and things like that. So yeah, that's my idea. I might have another Sandbox mode, maybe starting in the next month or so, called, and we'll do a budget zoo, and we'll see what we can, conjure up with very sort of like limited finances, I guess you could say. What I might even do where that Sandbox is concerned is activate the money, because where Sandbox is concerned, you can have everything unlocked, but you can still do it so that the zoo runs financially, so you still have to make money and things like that. So yeah, we might just kind of like change it up a little bit, make that harder. And the other thing I want to talk to you about, now I'm not sure if I can confirm exactly what is happening, but I have been asked by a few people that are involved in the Planet Zoo world, to get involved in a very exciting project. And I was really, it was amazing to be asked, especially as I watch a couple of the guys that are involved, and they are really, really cool, builders where Planet Zoo is concerned. And one of the guys in particular I watch a lot, and I think he is massively underrated. And so yeah, I was approached, and I think it's going to be a 5-person project, and we're going to be doing sort of like a very modern zoo build, but it's going to be a very realistic feel about it as well. Now obviously I don't want to reveal too much because I'm not sure if I can yet or not, but I know I can reveal that I am going to be involved in this collaboratory project, and I think that my episode will probably be up every 4th week. So yeah, look forward to it, my friends. It's going to be an exciting project, and I'm thrilled to be involved. Now I know this isn't much of an episode, it's probably an episode for episode's sake, but I do hope you've enjoyed it. Hit that like button if you have, my friends. Smash that subscribe button as well, if you're new to the channel and this is the sort of thing that you like to watch, and hit the bell notification button if you never want to miss one of my uploads. I will be back, my friends, with that elephant build real soon, hopefully before this week is out. I do have a little bit of time, so I really want to crack on with it, so look forward to that, and look forward to whatever else as well that I have planned where this zoo's concerned, and all the new projects. But until next time, my friends, you make sure you stand extra, and I'll see you real soon.